Grandma was born September 27, 1927. She's 88 years old and very frail, but still with a sharp mind, and she's spent time answering my questions about her family origins. She has spent hours researching her family history over the past 30 years. Her family has Russian, Latvian, English, and Scottish bloodlines. Her family originally came to Australia to seek a more prosperous life and to enjoy the vastly improved climate and way of life. Her great-grandfather departed Russia just before the age he would be required to serve in the Russian army for a period of 25 years. His religious beliefs meant he had a few rights as a citizen in Russia. He came from a much colder climate with very different living conditions and controls against his religion. The family members who came from England and Scotland came to a land with a similar culture and laws, but very different environment, to a dry, harsh country. My ancestors brought parts of their culture with them. The Russian and Latvian connections continued their family and religious practices. However, they were keen to adopt the Australian way of life. Those from England and Scotland had an impact on our way of life, became leaders in politics, business and community. British laws and parliamentary democracy and our democratic way of life emerged from their backgrounds. After interviewing Grandma, I learnt that migrants such as my grandma's great-grandparents, their cultures, backgrounds and attributes played a significant role in developing Australia as a nation. Their skills, talents, experiences, foods and ways of life have added to the wealth of the country. Grandma has also seen Australian culture change from an Anglo-Saxon white Australia to a multicultural society with a greater diversity than her generation ever imagined. Grandma mentioned that the biggest impact on Australian culture in her lifetime has been multiculturalism, and it has added strength to our Anglo-Saxon culture. In the last part of the interview, she stated that in the future our culture will change again, with greater diversity, and she believed that even with the changes to our culture, it was still the best country in which to live. For students at primary school, one way of learning about history is talking with family. Cooper argues that young children become aware of times before their own by observing and interacting with stories, buildings, and photos. By discussing these things, asking, answering questions, children develop historical knowledge and can apply this knowledge to different historical situations. By asking questions of my grandma about her life, it was reinforced to me that our present and future are based on the past. Reynolds suggests that historical research and questions should address a student's personal context and link the present with the historical explanations. Interviewing Grandma gave me a personal link to her ancestry and her generation and how they have helped shape Australia as a nation.